Ever notice how some folks just seem to, I don't know, attract good things? Like everything just kind of falls into place for them.
Yeah, the lucky ones.
Yeah.
Right. The universe just smiles on them.
Yeah.
Relationships, money, opportunities, they've got that golden touch.
Right, exactly. So today we're going to take a deep dive into this whole idea of manifestation.
Okay.
Is it really just luck, or could there be something more going on?
Something deeper.
Something we can maybe understand, maybe even break down a bit scientifically. So what's the mission for our deep dive today?
Well, we're going to unpack exactly what manifestation is, how it supposedly works, and yeah, most importantly, what you can actually do to try it out yourself.
Absolutely. Sounds good.
So what is this manifestation thing anyway? I mean, what are we really talking about here?
Well, at its core, manifestation is the idea that you can bring things into your life, into your reality, using the power of, well, your thoughts, your feelings, and even your actions.
So it's kind of like creating a blueprint, but with your mind and emotions for the stuff you want to see happen. Exactly. You're building that mental and emotional blueprint, and then get this, aligning your behavior to make it real.
Okay, so this isn't just sitting around wishing on a star.
No, not at all.
There's real intention behind it. It's about focus.
Absolutely. Intention is key. And it's interesting, right? Because manifestation feels like a super modern concept, especially with how much it pops up online.
It's everywhere.
But these ideas, they've been around for ages. I mean, think about the New Thought movement back in the 19th century. They were all about the power of positive thinking.
Right. Think good thoughts, good things happen.
Exactly. And, even further back, you see similar concepts in some Eastern philosophies, like in Buddhism, the idea that your mind can transform things.
So the secret might have brought it to the mainstream, but the roots run deep.
Deep, yeah.
Okay, but I gotta ask, when people start talking about, rewiring your brain and energy, it can sound a little woo-woo. Is there any actual science behind this stuff?
Okay, well, the idea of energy in this context, it's not something we can measure directly with scientific instruments.
Yeah, that's what makes it tricky.
Right. But neuroscience actually offers some really interesting insights. For example, have you heard of the reticular activating system, the RAS?
RAS, rings a bell.
It's basically this network in your brain that acts like a filter for all the information that's constantly bombarding you.
Oh, so it's like our brain's spam filter.
Sort of. But it filters based on what you believe and what you're focusing on. It prioritizes what it thinks is important to you.
Makes sense. Our brains can't process everything all the time.
Right. It's overwhelming. So the RAS decides what gets through. It's like a bouncer at a club.
I like that analogy.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're constantly thinking about what you lack, about scarcity, your RAS is going to focus on that. It'll pick up on every bill, every unexpected expense.
And that just reinforces the feeling of lack.
Exactly. But if you flip the script, if you focus on abundance and opportunity, guess what?
Your RAS starts seeing those things instead.
It's like, boom, they were always there, but now you're noticing them.
It's like when you decide you want a certain car, and then suddenly you see that car everywhere.
Perfect example.
Yeah.
It was always there, but now your brain's tuned in.
So that's the RAS. What else is there?
Well, there's also neuroplasticity, which is your brain's ability to rewire itself, to change and adapt by forming new neural pathways.
Okay, so how does that tie into manifestation?
Well, when you repeat thoughts and behaviors, it can literally rewire your brain. Imagine those neural pathways as highways in your brain, connections between your brain cells.
Okay, so the more you travel on a particular highway, the stronger and clearer that path becomes.
Exactly. And that's where visualization comes in. When you vividly imagine achieving a goal, your brain actually activates similar pathways as if you were actually experiencing it.
Whoa, seriously?
Yep. They've done studies with fMRI scans, and they show that just imagining an action lights up similar brain regions as actually doing it.
Wow, that's pretty powerful.
It is. And when you do that repeatedly, it strengthens those pathways, making the goal feel more real and achievable. They've even seen this with athletes using mental rehearsal to improve their performance.
So just thinking about something can create real changes in the brain.
It's incredible, right? And then there's the placebo effect. We've all heard of that, right?
Yeah, the power of belief.
Right. And studies show it can cause real physiological changes. If believing in something can impact your physical health, it makes you wonder about its potential in other areas of life.
That's a really good point. So we've got the RAS filtering what we notice, neuroplasticity rewiring our brains, and the placebo effect showing the power of belief. It's starting to feel like there really is something to this.
Right. There's a connection between our minds and what we experience in the world.
Okay, so let's say someone's listening to this and they're intrigued. They want to give manifestation a try. What are some actual steps they can take? Where do they even begin?
All right, well, the first step, and this is crucial, is getting clear on what you want to manifest, like crystal clear.
So none of this "I want to be happy" kind of stuff.
Nope, got to be specific. Vague desires usually lead to, well, vague results or no results at all.
So how do you get that clarity?
Write it down. Seriously, the act of putting your desires into words makes them more real, more focused.
So instead of "I want more money," it'd be something like "I intend to make an extra $5,000 in the next 6 months through." And then you fill in the blank, right?
Exactly. Maybe it's a side hustle, a promotion, whatever. The more details you can add, the better.
Okay, so clarity is number one. What's next?
Visualization. Spend a few minutes each day really picturing your goal as if it's already happened. Make it a vivid mental movie. Engage all your senses.
So like, what do you see, hear, feel, even smell or taste?
Exactly. You want to make it as real as possible.
Okay, that makes sense. It's like tricking your brain into thinking it's already happened.
Right. Then we have affirmations.
Oh yeah, those positive statements you repeat, right?
You got it. But here's the key. Say them in the present tense, like it's already true. So not, I will be more confident, but I am confident and capable.
Okay, so it's about reprogramming your self-talk.
Exactly. You're imprinting these positive beliefs into your subconscious mind. And speaking of positivity, the next step is cultivating gratitude.
Ah, gratitude. Always a good thing.
It's huge. When you focus on what you already have, what you're thankful for, it shifts you away from that feeling of lack. It opens you up to abundance.
It's hard to be down when you're thinking about all the good stuff.
So true. Keeping a gratitude journal can be really powerful. Just write down things you're grateful for every day.
I've heard that can really make a difference.
Oh, absolutely. I've seen it with my own clients. They start practicing gratitude and suddenly they're noticing opportunities they missed before. It changes their whole outlook.
That's amazing. Okay, so we've got clarity, visualization, affirmations, and gratitude. What's the final piece of the puzzle?
Inspired action. This is where the rubber meets the road. Manifestation isn't passive. You got to take action in the real world.
Right, you can't just sit on the couch and expect things to magically appear.
Exactly. But it's not just any action, it's inspired action. It's about paying attention to those intuitive nudges, those opportunities that feel right, even if they don't fit your original plan.
So being open to new possibilities, even if they're unexpected.
Yes. The universe often works in mysterious ways we can't always predict.
So it's a balance between the inner work, the mindset, and the outer work, the actual steps you take.
You nailed it. It's a collaboration between you and, well, whatever you want to call that guiding force.
Okay, so we've got the steps, but what about the pitfalls? What are some common mistakes people make when they're trying to manifest?
Oh, there are a few big ones. Impatience is a big one. People want to see results, like yesterday.
Instant gratification, right?
Exactly. And when it doesn't happen fast enough, they get discouraged and give up. You got to trust the process, understand that things unfold in their own time.
Patience is a virtue, as they say.
It really is, especially with this. Another mistake is focusing too much on the how. You know, trying to micromanage every little detail.
Like overthinking it.
Totally. Your job is to set the intention. The universe will figure out the details. Trying to control everything can actually create resistance and block what you're trying to attract.
So it's like trying to force a square peg into a round hole.
Exactly. And then there's the big one, negative self-talk.
Ah, the inner critic.
Doubt is a manifestation killer. If you're constantly thinking, this will never work for me, or I'm not good enough, that negativity is going to undermine everything.
So it's really about shifting that internal narrative.
100%. You got to catch those negative thoughts and replace them with positive affirmations. So instead of, what if I fail, it's, what if I succeed? What would that feel like?
Okay, that's a good one. Turn that negativity around.
Right. And finally, a lot of people ignore their intuition. They miss those subtle signs and nudges.
Because they're so focused on their original plan?
Exactly. Sometimes things don't work out the way you thought because you're being guided towards something even better.
So that closed door might actually be a redirection.
Think of it as a detour that leads to a more scenic route. Learning to trust your gut feeling, that's crucial for manifestation.
So it's not just about setting intentions, it's also about being open to how those intentions might actually manifest.
Exactly. It's a dance between clarity and flexibility.
Yeah.
You know, manifestation, it's not a one-time trick. It's a skill you develop with practice. It's like learning to play an instrument.
The more you do it, the better you get.
Exactly. Whether you're trying to attract a new career, better relationships, or just more peace in your life, the principles are the same.
You're the architect of your own reality.
That's a great way to put it. You're designing your life, not just dreaming about it.
It's interesting to think about the role of belief in all of this. It seems like you got to have at least a little bit of faith that this unseen force can actually influence your life.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. It's about believing in possibilities that go beyond what we can see and touch. It reminds me of a quote by Rumi. What you seek is seeking you.
Wow, that's beautiful.
It's such a powerful idea, right?
Yeah.
It suggests this deep connection between what we want and the universe itself.
It really makes you think. Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive.
Yeah, it has.
Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us today.
My pleasure.
I know I've got a lot to think about, and I'm sure our listeners do too.
I hope so.
Thanks again.
You're welcome.